Welcome to Wholehearted Healing with Jo, the podcast where we dive deep into the journey of healing body, mind, and soul. I'm Jo, a manual osteopath and holistic health coach, here to help women like you reconnect with your authentic self, release what no longer serves you, and step into your highest potential. Together, we'll explore empowering tools, have soulful conversations, and transformative practices to guide you toward wholehearted living. Whether it's emotional healing, physical alignment, or finding balance in your life, this is your space to grow, heal, and thrive. So take a deep breath, settle in, and let's begin this beautiful journey together. Hello, welcome back to another episode. We are going to be looking at today 5 steps to elevating your life in 2025. So if you are watching this when it comes out, it is December of 2024. And so what better time to talk about the new year than in December? We are basically going to go through 5 different ways, or steps, I should say, that you can start to elevate. And so this is important because, we're always looking for change and growth and expansion and ways to evolve and become the highest version of ourselves. And I know in the new year, it feels like a reset energetically, right? Like we usually feel like, I want to do this, or this is my goal for the year. This is what I want to try to work towards and achieve. And so 2025, I feel like is going to be a good year. I'm hoping it's a good year. 2024 has been interesting. It's definitely had its ups and its downs. And it went by really fast too. I don't know how you guys felt, but I feel like 2024 just like blew by. And to think that we have 3-4 weeks left, not even 4 weeks, I don't think, left of the year, is pretty crazy. So, I think the biggest thing with wanting to elevate your life, there's nothing obviously wrong with that. If anything, I think that that's a good thing, that we want growth, we want to see change, we want to have change in our lives. Those are great things. I think when we stop doing those things, we start to decline our health, right? Mind, body, soul, we just start to decline. There's always something that we can improve upon in our life. We're never perfect. We're never done learning on earth. And so the biggest thing is to really figure out, first of all, what you want to work towards. So again, 2025, it's just a fresh start. It's an easy time. But at the same time, don't just start and wait for January 1st or Monday, right? Like whenever the first Monday is in January, like get started now. These are things that you can start to work towards in your life now and to see change now. That's what I'm doing, as I'm working towards creating change in certain areas of my life that I feel are, I guess, the most important to me right now, or I feel like should be my focus right now. And I am starting those things in December. I've been starting them earlier than that, but I'm working on those things now. I'm not just waiting till January. January, I want to start to see the momentum, right? Like January is when I really want to see things start to shift and start to change. So if you get started now, you might be starting to see that in January. And so the other part of this is like, which you can see in the title, is like becoming your highest self, or your higher self, or the highest version of yourself. And really what that means is aligning with what is in alignment with you, right? Like doing the things that you want to do, doing the things that you feel called to do, doing things in a way that you feel called to do them, the way you feel called to live your life, how you feel you want to show up for yourself and show up for others. And so as we kind of move through this is about realigning yourself in a way that is supportive for you, that serves you, and is also, again, for the highest good of others as well, in that kind of all wrapped together. So the first part of elevating, or being able to elevate or change or become your highest self, is what I kind of already mentioned before, which is really starting to hone in on your vision. Like, what is it that you want to change? What is the goal? What is the dream? And needing to get clear on that. I do have my notes over here, if you're watching me and you're seeing me look. But we want to look at, like, okay, what is the highest version of me look like? And again, you can look at all aspects of your life, like where do I want my career to be? Where do I want my health to be? Where do I want my relationships to be? My money to be? Like whatever the thing is, you can do all of the above. Maybe there's little things in each section, but maybe it's a very specific goal. You might have a very specific thing that you want to focus on and that you want to work towards this year, that you really want to see that area of your life elevate. And so whatever the thing is, there's no wrong answer. It's your life. We want to just clarify, what does that look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? What does it taste like? What is it, right? Like however you want to describe it, but get really specific around what you want and how it's going to make you feel when you have it, and getting clear on even the action steps, like the things that you need to maybe put in place, or the things that you maybe don't have in place that you need to put in place, right? So just like looking at like, okay, where is this future version of me? And then looking at like, how do we close that gap? How do we shorten that? So again, first thing, get clear on the vision. You can do like vision boards. You can do, you can do so many things. You could literally just like envision it, right? Like you could literally just sit with it each day, write it out. You can journal it. I know there's been like on Instagram, at least that's where I typically am a lot of the time. On Instagram, I've noticed there's been reels going around of like people talking about the ChatGPT prompts for like designing your dream life. Like ChatGPT would basically design or write out, based on what you put into it, your dream, a day in your dream life kind of thing. And so you could do stuff like that as well too, to help you get into the vision of what that looks like and feels like on a daily basis. Now, the second thing that you're going to want to work towards is releasing things that don't serve you. This can look like so many different things. This could be emotional, like blockages, right? Like emotions that are trapped within us, or emotions that we keep repeating and experiencing. I mean, all emotions are valid and needed. I think it's really what we want to look at is like the pattern attached to the emotion. If there's like the same situations coming up, we can look at like, so emotional blocks, limiting beliefs. We can look at our toxic or maybe not so great relationships that we've got going on. Even clutter, like getting rid of things and stuff that we have around us that is, again, just not serving us and is maybe affecting our energy. It's kind of like blocking us in some ways. A big piece of this would be also boundaries. And I'm actually going to make a post on this sometime soon. I think it's in one of my, I don't know if it's this week or next week I want to do it, but about like boundaries and how that influences our nervous system, and if we have a lack of boundaries, right, what that can kind of look like. And so with a lot of, especially when it comes to other people, boundaries are huge. And we don't always think about it in this way, but boundaries with ourselves is really like, it actually comes into like the next point, which is like non-negotiables. Like, what are you not willing to settle for? And so when it comes to boundaries, you know, we can have them with ourselves where it's like, no, just because you don't want to exercise today doesn't mean we're not going to, or, you know, just like really kind of putting that, like the line in the sand on what it is that you are willing or not willing to do or not do. And so that those boundaries can be with ourselves, but they definitely need to be with other people at the same time. That boundaries has been a big theme that I've been seeing in a lot of other people. I mean, I have been aware of them in myself and with people in my life that I've needed them. And there's just clients, family members, friends, people just in my circle, my world, that I'm noticing like boundaries is a big theme that's coming up. And boundaries are a lot of times what is dysregulating us and, you know, making us feel all these different types of feelings when it comes to how much energy we have, you know, the pressure that we feel, just how burnt out we feel, right? And just like always feeling like we're putting other people before we're putting ourselves, right? Before we're not serving ourselves and filling our own cup when we have poor boundaries, right? So release what no longer serves you. So really look at the things in your life, the habits, the patterns, the things that you associate with yourself with or you don't associate yourself with. Look at those things and like really evaluate what's serving me, what's not serving me. And so if you have a specific area in your life that you're trying to improve, is there any emotions, limiting beliefs, blocks, people, things, right? Even if you're trying to build a business, like is your office messy, right? Like stuff like that. Like what is around you that needs to maybe go or needs a boundary so that you're not getting caught up in it so much anymore. The third thing and the third step, if you will, that we want to look at, like I mentioned before, is non-negotiables. So really create your daily non-negotiables. What are the things you're doing every day, no matter what, that are habits and things that align with who you want to be and this highest version of yourself, and who you want to become. So again, it can be linked back to who you are, like, or what your goal is, and what you're trying to become. So your non-negotiables might be in business if you have a business goal, or they might be in health if you have a health goal. If you're just trying to elevate your entire life, like what are the daily little things, habits that you need to do or have, or be to set yourself up for that type of lifestyle, right? So these little things can be like in our routines. I think of like daily non-negotiables, I would say from a health perspective as well, of like how do you wake up in the morning? What's your routine before you go to work? How do you spend your time before you go to bed? Those are like super basic ones. So like morning and evening routines are really good for non-negotiables. Now in your business, obviously this isn't like, or your career, this might be more of like when you're at work or during your day. It's your health. If it's your health, you might definitely have morning and evening routines, but you might also have, things around your diet and your nutrition that you're wanting to implement as well. The biggest thing that I would say with non-negotiables is start small. So start with like one thing and then you can slowly start to incorporate some others. So don't overwhelm yourself with this process. And you might even have like, okay, well, but my highest version of myself like does all of these things. That's great, but just start with one. Start with the most important, and then you can slowly build upon it. And then maybe by like, the spring or something, you're doing all of those things. But if we can slowly incorporate small stuff, it makes it a little bit more easier for us to digest, because we are human, we're not perfect. And these non-negotiables, it can sometimes be really hard to stick to, especially in the beginning, especially when you're changing habits, right? I think it still stands that like 21 days is what it takes to like break a habit, right? And make something more of like a new habit. So, start small with those things. And if you fall off the wagon and you have a day where you just, you don't do it, or, you forget one thing or something like that, like don't take that as an opportunity to just quit it altogether. Just get back on the horse the next day and get back into your non-negotiables and just restart. Same thing goes with like any of your goals. Don't let one day or 1 week throw you off completely. So, and then the fourth thing, which truthfully, I think that this should maybe be a little higher in the priority, but is working on our nervous system. And so doing things like breath work or movement, we can do like any sort of exercise. Some of us might need more of like gentle exercise, more of like, just like lighter movement, stretching, walking, lighter yoga classes versus like heavier intense stuff. Or we might need a nice mix of both. And rest as well to help us regulate ourselves. This is important, and this is a big component of what I teach and work with women on when it comes to my breakthrough sessions, as well as my coaching programs, is that the nervous system's the foundation for everything. Like even if we want to get rid of emotions, or we want to release emotions or tension from our body, we have to feel safe and regulated to begin with. And this doesn't mean that we're calm all the time. It means that we're capable of adapting to different situations, and we're not getting caught up in chronic states of stress or overwhelm. And a lot of times when we start to fall off, when it comes to like our plans, our habits, when we get around, situations of toxic people, or, we've got lots of clutter in our life, or we've got these blocks and these limitations, and our mind starts kind of running away with things, we get dysregulated. And so we need to be able to re-regulate ourselves, realign ourselves, and that's going to help us, one, stick to the things that we're trying to work through in our life. But two, over time, we're going to become more resilient to the challenges and the struggles in our lives. And I truly believe like we all experience, there's kind of like I don't know if it's a saying or what you want to call it, but like two people, I could be here, you're there. We could go through the exact same life experiences and have very different experiences with that, and how we struggle or don't struggle with it. And I think a lot of that comes to our ability to adapt and our nervous system, and how capable we are of handling those emotions in those moments, and then how that also carries through with us through the rest of our life as well. So learning how to regulate yourself and how to basically be able to rest properly is super, super important. And like I said, I feel like this should be like basically like number 2, like clarify your vision, work on your nervous system. Then the releasing of the things that no longer serve you is going to become so much easier, because you're going to feel calm when you go into those states or those situations, or you can work your way out of it. And you're going to be able to stick to your non-negotiables because you won't feel so overwhelmed by life, right? And then the 5th thing that you want to work on is taking aligned action. And this is basically the buildup of these small little steps that we take to get us from where we are to where we want to be. And these small things really are the things that start to compound and make this big transformation and this big shift in our life. Again, we can do this through the daily non-negotiables, the things that we're like, nope, every day I'm waking up, I'm doing this. But these also could be things that we maybe don't work on every day, right? That again, still get us to our goal and still help us work towards, things we're trying to create, whether that's businesses, projects, new relationships, new friendships, right? Like whatever the things that we're working towards are, we do have to work towards these things and take action. And again, working on your nervous system and being able to regulate yourself is going to help you take action more consistently in your life. And yeah, going at it from that perspective. I will say I'm going to give you guys a bonus now that this is coming to me, because I don't have this in my notes, but I would say a bonus thing that you can work on doing in 2025 that's really going to help elevate you is celebrating yourself, celebrating your wins, celebrating the small actions that you're taking, celebrating your milestones of like, a month into your fitness protocol, or whatever the thing is, like breaking up with that person, or, working through a limiting belief, like whatever the things are that you're doing every day. And in some ways it's like you could put it in with a gratitude list, but celebrate yourself, right? Like I could celebrate just like recording this podcast, right? It doesn't have to be anything big. It could be the fact that I sat down today and like worked on things. Just celebrate those small little steps that you're taking towards your goal, or goals. And you're going to see how much you're really doing. Because I think we sometimes forget that when we don't get the immediate result right away. We forget the progress that we are making and the things that we are doing for ourselves. And so when we can celebrate those things, it gives us a little reminder. And you can do this daily, you can do this weekly, monthly, right? It's a little bit of like reflection time. Daily's nice because you might not remember it, in 5 days from now. So it's nice when you kind of document those small little wins, and then you can look back and realize, wow, I've done so much. And it gives us that little bit of hope and motivation and pat on the back, right? That we need, that we don't always acknowledge ourselves for. So those are the 5 things. Clarify your vision. I'm going to put work on your nervous system second. Release what no longer serves you. Create daily non-negotiable habits, and take aligned action towards the things that you truly, truly want to have. And again, if you just keep reminding yourselves of these things, write them down, revisit them, put them on a wall somewhere, right? Create a vision board, however you want to go about it. If you start to do these things and remind yourself of this, you're really going to start to see transformation. You're going to start to see shift. Just don't put the expectation of like when this has to happen by, right? Try to take that pressure off of ourselves. Unless it motivates you, then you can. But, don't put the pressure for yourself to be perfect. Don't put the pressure on like it has to be now. Just let things work through. Just know that if you're taking aligned action, it's going to happen, right? Have that hope and that belief and that faith that it's going to work out for you and it's going to happen for you. And that's all you need to be focused on. So yeah, let me know what your vision is for 2025. You can let me know on Instagram. You can let me know if you're on YouTube. You can let me know in the comments below. Let me know what your vision is and what's your goal? What's your goal for 2025? Have you started on it? And as well, if you have any questions about how to regulate your nervous system and work on some of these things, let me know as well, because I would love to help you guys. And I can always create content around that for you. And if you have any questions about my programs or my coaching, or my breathwork sessions, breakthrough, and I'm not sure why I said breathwork, breakthrough sessions, as well as my coaching programs, then feel free to message me about those. I'm only taking 5 new women in my group coaching program for Elevate Her, and I'm taking 1 private. So if that is you, then definitely reach out to me and we can talk about whether it's something that would be aligned for you. And my breakthrough sessions are also limited for the month, especially with holidays, that sort of thing coming up. So if you wanted one of those sessions, you can check the link down below for like availability, and you can book all right there for yourself. So, but otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I will be here next week and we will have another wonderful chat, and we'll see. I haven't decided, I don't think, what I'm doing for that episode yet. So I'm excited to see what comes up. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.